How's it hanging, dudes and dudettes? My name is Shawn, and sometimes I just stare at Cities Skylines 2 trailers. You know, it's crazy how ready I am for this game. I stare so much, however, that I start to see some of the flaws, like this new dev diary. There's a few of them in there, but, you know, I'm always reaching a wider audience, so, you know, if this is your first time, or, you know, you find yourself coming back, please subscribe and hit that like button. Beat it up, you know what I'm saying? You know, for those who want extra content, like this video titled How I Really Feel About Cities Skylines 2, there is a member tab, and it's really cheap, and at only $1.99, so no worries if you don't, but the option is there. So flaws, baby, flaws. Now, you all know I am a super fan, right? I am a super fan. I think there are so many better things coming out that we can see in this game that totally blows its predecessor out of the water. Sorry for my dog ear flappies. You know, they like to make cameos every once in a while. But like I have said in previous video, we have to criticize the things we love to make them better. Now, I don't know if this new dev diary was all beta build stuff, but there is a myriad of glaring issues that I can't stand to look at while I stare lovingly at this game trailer, right? So there is so much good stuff in this game trailer that far outshadows some of these bad things. But let's dive into these glaring problems. Remember, this is not hate. This is all love. These glaring problems, you know, they are tiny. The nitpicks will probably be removed, right? So, okay. So in the very first shot there is a snowman with no snow, which we have seen before. It's obviously spring or summer, so there seems to be a slight issue with the seasonal prop change, you know, and there will probably be fixed before launch version, you know, so no biggies there. Now in the very same shot though, you can see that the trees and bushes are blowing with the wind, but the flag is stiffer than my my pen that I'm writing with these notes, right? Yeah, that's it. Seriously though, it's it's not moving at all. Like, I'm not wrong about that, am I? So that leads me to my third major issue. The air pollution is clearly shown jutting up right against fertile farm fields, which I get are industry, but shouldn't the ground pollution affect it? And we know there is a wind system that blows the smog in certain directions, so I'm not sure how the pollution or the air system works, but they must be not as robust as they say, because the wind doesn't affect the flags, but it does affect the trees and the smog, or the trees just wiggling on their own, right? And that has nothing to do with the wind, because the wind would be making the trees generally blow in a single direction more often than wiggling back and forth. The ground pollution doesn't affect the farmland either. So, you know, there seems to be a couple of issues here that, you know, I would like to be fixed just for immersion purposes, right? So, yeah, there's the main ones, right? Now, let's get into some minor ones, like too many repeating billboards. I don't like that. No real ground level supermarkets besides the signature building. I don't like that. Low traffic, like really low. Like daytime night skyline lights also are really unimmersive. They should be reflective in the daytime. Just because somebody has a light flicked on in their high-rise apartment doesn't mean that everybody can just look right in there. Like, if you're like building to building, you can. So maybe there should be like a sphere around each building that if you get too close, you can kind of see inside a little bit. Like, you get that little bit of inside detail. But if you're really far back, it should just look like a reflective window. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Some of these, some of these assets look like too clean and less lived in as well. You know what I mean? Like, some buildings don't even have panel or grout lines, you know, and I really think that's about it though. I mean, I guess I could really nitpick, but these are just like small things that can be fixed, small things that mods can fix, you know. So I don't know, what do you guys think about, you know, what should be added to this list? Maybe Paradox and Colossal will need feedback on this, right? Like, we should help out with that, I guess. Okay, and to play our part right, I want all of us to watch this trailer again. You don't have to go anywhere. I'll just go ahead and play it now in its entirety. And I want everybody to look for something that they think Colossal Order might be able to fix. They might appreciate this. So let's all take the time to do that, and then I'll meet you guys for a little bit of information right before the outro.
Every decision you make weaves a thread into the fabric of your city. But don't for a second imagine a smooth, seamless surface. Cities don't work like that. Instead, it's an urban patchwork marked by the realities of life and living. You'll create and stitch it together with zoning. Zoning lets you decide where people live and work. You create these residential, commercial, and industrial zones with zoning tools. They work in a couple of different ways. Click and drag over cells on the map to zone large rectangular areas. Zone all adjacent cells with one click. Or get granular, zoning a neighborhood cell by cell. When you establish a city, you choose a map. The map's theme dictates if your city's buildings will have a North American or European architectural style. You can now use zoning tools to mix it up. Go on, sprinkle a little North American flair into your European city, or vice versa. Okay, you know how zoning tools work, but what can you zone? Well, let's start with residential zones. The places and spaces where citizens relax with friends, raise families, and rest their heads night after night. There are now 6 residential zone types. 2 will be familiar: low-density housing, detached houses for single families, and high-density housing, tall towers packed with residents. New zoning types include medium-density row housing and medium-density apartment buildings. There's low-rent housing now too. Huge apartment buildings with tiny apartments. Finally, there's mixed housing. Here, residents live in apartments above ground floor shops. Mixed housing adds next-level realism because homes and shops rub elbows like most real-world city centers. Ready to talk business? You'll create dedicated commercial zones where companies sell the locally produced and imported goods people need and want. Your commercial zones are also where citizens and tourists eat out, catch the latest blockbuster, and dance until dawn. You'll establish industrial zones with factories, workshops, and warehouses where businesses can store goods ready for distribution or export. You'll also develop office zones. Here you'll find small, low-density buildings with only a few businesses in operation. You'll also get the glittering, high-density towers that define your city's silhouette in the sky. Growing your city and zoning go hand in hand. Here's an example. You zone residential areas that boost the population, and with it, the demand for jobs. You respond by creating an industrial zone with factories where people get to work. Now, these factories produce goods, but they won't stay in business long without somewhere to sell them. You solve that problem by expanding commercial zones. You see? Each zone helps create the momentum you need to realize the city of your dreams. And it wouldn't be the city of your dreams without signature buildings. These are unique residential, commercial, industrial, and office buildings that you unlock as your city expands. They're free to build, and you can plop them anywhere. Plop. It's Cities Skylines lingo. Go on, say it. Plop. What's so special about signature buildings? Well, they function like any zoned building. A home for people, a warehouse for industry, an office for workers. But they can elevate the neighborhood in unique ways. Signature buildings can also bring citywide benefits. Zone and place your signature buildings carefully so each city district flourishes and plays its part in the success of the whole city. Life's rich tapestry has never been richer than in Cities Skylines 2.
I really do think that all these things are minor and can be fixed with mods, if not at launch. Some people don't really don't like that it's a thing, but mods and Cities Skylines go hand in hand, and that isn't going to change, right? It's a pill you'll have to swallow if you're not into mods or you're a console player. It's just one of those things. You're going to see better builds with mods. And I think most of us are on board with mods, or they just accept the fact that if they're on console, they get what they get. But I think it's really a big step up from console. You know what I mean? Here I go. This is supposed to be a video about the things that we don't like, and here I go talk about things like again. Anyway, all right. So don't forget, we do have memberships for those who really, really, really want to go the extra mile and support. Plus, it's cheap, and you get exclusive content. But until next time, piss off.
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made her leave with me. Conversation and